Yeah, I mean, you've got Jamie Dimon and Lloyd Blankfein committing, engaging in, partaking in, colluding in a scheme that is bankrupting the economy and creating multiple generations of disenfranchised, angry citizens, while the rights of these citizens are being stripped to pay for this fraud. So what do you do about this? I mean, how do you react? I noticed, for example, there's no connection, from what I understand, but up to 20 bankers have recently been found dead. That's a fact. We've got the 4 or 5 known examples of banker suicides, and we've got reports now that up to 20 bankers have been found dead. So either A, these are bankers who were going to blow the whistle on Lloyd Blankfein, and he had him taken out, or these are bankers who have committed suicide because of the shame of being associated with Lloyd Blankfein. Imagine you're associated with Lloyd Blankfein and you know that your boss is committing a financial holocaust. Would you not be tempted to kill yourself? Is this not behind the rash of banker suicides around America and around the world? I think that's the cause.
So let's go back to the story, because he mentions that, for example, we're still far behind in even trying to chase the frauds that previously happened, the earlier frauds from the mortgage-backed securities fraud, and now there's a LIBOR and Forex trading fraud. These are all these new frauds coming up. So he mentions the arbitrage and the contango in oil. Then he mentions the aluminum, or aluminium as they call it in the UK, where Goldman Sachs controlled the Detroit aluminum. Something like 70% of the market all went through there. But what they were doing was swapping it back and forth between warehouses, raising the rents and charging a huge amount more for this aluminum. Now, there's a class action suit going on against Goldman Sachs for their role in the aluminum rigging. By the way, they're all getting out of the markets now that they've already, the frauds are catching up to them and they've already defrauded the entire market. But Garrett Watkins, an Arizona-based class action attorney who is suing Goldman Sachs and others over the aluminum case on behalf of 2 major manufacturers, puts it this way: it's like that line in The Dark Knight Rises, he says, the storm isn't coming, the storm is already here. So what was that whole Dark Knight Rises but about? They were demonizing Occupy Wall Street as if they wanted to bring anarchy and chaos. And yet what he's rightly pointing out here is this manipulation of the entire industrial process. The entire industrial process from beginning to end is raising prices, causing chaos, and they're the ones causing the chaos and anarchy that the film industry imagined that the normal people are causing.
So this is a clear case of fascism. This is a clear case of a small group of people committing fraud on an industrial scale. And as a result, you've got wide-scale poverty, disease, ecological disaster. What is the solution? Because we were told after World War II, remember, never again was the catchphrase after World War II. Never again would we see a Holocaust like World War II. And yet, we're seeing it again. So why aren't the people being more proactively trying to stop it? Why aren't the folks who were the victims last time saying, you know what, we don't want this again? It puts into context the whole past 70 or 80 years of who's doing what to whom for what and for how much.
Now, also, the point here is that, the financial collapse happened, and because of that, Goldman Sachs became a bank holding company, and because of the cheap 0% interest rates, they could buy up all these commodity warehouses. They also point out that the LME, the London Metals Exchange, is also being bought up by Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Glencore and Trafigura, which were both rich firms. Remember the famous market manipulator who went on the run, and Bill Clinton, also, who oversaw the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act? He pardoned him. So they control the London Metals Exchange with zinc, copper, aluminum. The same thing is happening there. He's talking about the merry-go-round there. You're seeing signs of merry-go-round because you see over and over the cancel of the warrant, which is showing that there's a rise in manipulation, basically. It could be a sign of that.
Well, Matt Taibbi, another great job, another great article, really covering this ongoing scourge of terrorism, and he does a good job. Anyway, we got to go. Stacy, thanks so much.
The last contango in London.